Okay, it's 1:45, a little past, but ready to call the Parks and Rec Committee meeting to order. First, roll call, please.
Lombardo.
Here.
Mosley.
Here.
Malik.
Here.
Neal.
Here.
Connor.
Here.
All committee members are present.
Thank you. And if I can get a motion for the minutes for last week's meeting.
So moved. Second.
All right. Motion is second, has been approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, we have a ordinance here for time that we're going to go over first. It's an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with Tom Todd Ideas for a partnership with the City of Akron in the Creative Akron Summer Program for 2023 and declaring an emergency. So first up, are you here for that? Okay. So we do have Joel from Tom Todd Ideas, and of course Katie Breck is here to speak on some of the questions. Joel, first of all, welcome to the meeting. I know some of the questions that you've probably been briefed with were regard to this camp, wonderful camp at Summit Lake. Just asking maybe in the future to rotate some of the camp locations, let alone with some children getting or having problems with transportation getting to the camp. But anyhow, I will hand over the mic to you, and you can talk about Tom Todd Ideas. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and appreciate just the opportunity to partner with the city over the last several years here and providing these experiences for Akron City kids. And we've had a great number of years made through COVID with trying to provide some out-of-the-box, innovative virtual camp. And then the last several years have been pleased to be back in person at Summit Lake. I'm really grateful for Brittany's partnership and the entire Parks and Rec team. I believe I pulled together some information within the last 2 weeks showing the distribution of students that really come from across the city of Akron, trying to illustrate that while we are housed in one physical location, we are trying to definitely reach out, and we work alongside Akron Public Schools and trying to reach as broad of a cross-section of middle schoolers in the city as possible to make sure that this experience is available to kids all throughout the city. And then also working to bring our site visits where we take students out into the community and get them to experience firsthand the variety of wonderful organizations that exist in the city. As well, I know many of you have been a part of some of those experiences on site, both out in the community, and then also we've invited a number of guests into the camp itself and to come and share and have conversations with the students. We have talked some with the Parks and Rec team about what could that look like to continue to expand that geographical presence and to make sure that this is available to as many Akron middle schoolers as possible and as effective a way as possible. And so that includes continued efforts on our part to make sure that our labs and our learning experiences out in the community are spread across a broad section of the city, as well as the possibility of, for this summer, potentially, that we could expand to 2 different locations. If we were to add an additional week, we could spend 2 weeks in one location and 2 weeks in a, as of yet, undetermined second location. I could get some further ideas around that, possibly, and then looking towards, partnering with the Parks and Rec Department in the future to continue conversations about what does that look like. So I'll end my comments there. I'm really here today. I'd love to hear feedback, input, questions, because our goal as an organization is to provide as good of an experience as we can for Akron middle schoolers, and that also means for the Akron community at large. And so would love to hear insights and perspective.
Thank you, Joel. Well, I will take any questions from our committee members. Any questions for Mr. Harris? Okay, no, I don't see any hands. Okay. Is there any other council members with any questions? There's Councilwoman Sharon Connor. Go ahead, Sharon. Sharon, you're on mute.
There it is.
There you go.
First of all, I love the Tom Todd problem program. I've been lucky enough to be a visitor to it in all the years that it's been at Summit Lake. But my initial question was, when it was first presented to us, it was presented as a program that was going to travel to other parks in the original presentation. So that's part of why I brought that up. And you know, it's easy to get people who have transportation, but we have a large number of kids that don't have that and are missing out on such a great opportunity that even if it traveled to their park every other year, they could at least participate. So that's really the focus of trying to find those kids that have nothing to do all day or that are just hanging around because they need this program too. So that's my thoughts on that. Now, in the notes we got today, it said that you serve about 120 kids. But if there's 2 sessions and it's a maximum of 30 kids each session, then that only comes up to 60. So I'm not quite sure where the disconnect is in that.
Sure, I'm happy to speak to that, Sharon. Thanks so much for joining us each summer. The kids always have a highlight of talking with you and the great energy and perspective you bring to those conversations. We're super grateful. In terms of those specific numbers that you're asking about, for the last several summers, we've run 3 weeks of camp, and each one of those weeks has had 25 to 30 campers engaged with them, right in that range. But the document that I sent through was summarizing if we did 4 weeks of camp this summer in 2 different locations, then that's how we would get to the 120. So 2 weeks in one location, 2 weeks in another location, potentially.
Thank you so much, because it wasn't quite clear whether it was really a 2-week session or a 1-week session, so I was trying to figure the math, but I knew you could explain it to me.
My apologies for not being clear on the documentation. Thanks for the question.
Thank you. Not seeing any other questions or concerns. Mr. Harris, I just wanted to know, is there any possibility of partnering with maybe Metro bus service to at least bring the kids to the camp location, whether it's, you know, Summit Lake or, you know, Mason or any of the other future camp locations?
No, one possibility that we discussed with Brittany and with Jeff was the possibility of some kids being able to meet at an alternative community center location and then be bused over to whatever our location is. Brittany, would you be able to speak a little, you would have a better handle on what those logistics would look like on your end?
Yeah, thanks, Joel. If we were to partner with them, it would be to just take kids on our recreation buses before they're in service for our camps. We would transport the kids to wherever location Joel was holding his camp, so that way we would help provide transportation.
Okay.
I also would just add that the possibility of adding a second location for this summer might help address some of those. It doesn't get to every kid that doesn't have transportation, but it starts to get some more families that maybe, I don't have to drive across the city. This is in my neighborhood, that that would make it more accessible for a group. And then we could look towards, in future summers, how do we continue to address that in ways that are supportive and equitable to every family, no matter their transportation situation.
Okay, thank you. Well, if there's not any other questions, I would like to make a motion for a favorable report with our committee.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, very good. We'll see that that ordinance passes, and thank you very much for your time. Mr. Harris, thank you, Brittany, for joining in.
Thank you. Really appreciate the opportunity. We love partnering with the City of Akron. It's great, great experience.
Okay, thank you. We do have one new piece. It is a resolution And it's a resolution congratulating Akron's own son and hometown hero, LeBron James, on his astounding and historic accomplishment in becoming the NBA's all-time leading scorer, expressing appreciation for his continuing significant civic and charitable commitments to the Akron community, and declaring an emergency. And I see we have Mayor Horrigan has brought this forward, and it's offered by him and council as a whole. So, Mayor Horrigan?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Obviously, these have come a little bit more perfunctory every time he hits another achievement. I don't think it's a record that's going to be broken while we are all still alive, although somebody may be able to do it at some particular point. Even outside of that, I think it's, we look at the impact not only on the basketball court, but I think his voice in our community and across the country and really across the world about what's right, the impact that he's going to have. Did a tour of the I Promise House 330 the other day, and a complete transformation. I don't want to let anything out of the bag. I'll let the foundation and the family do all of that, but they really have transformed that to be a true impact for their kids and for their families. And so that to me is to be celebrated as much. This is, it's not a simple resolution by any stretch of the imagination, but very well deserved and earned for his impact into the community and across the sports world. So I appreciate the support.
Right, thank you. I don't want to get any discussions on the GOAT, but yeah, he's been great for Akron. He's been great for the NBA. He's just good outside of the court, you know, and that's what's really important, and that's what a lot of the kids look up to. So we are happy to call him Akron's son, and I would like to ask the committee if there's any other comments that they would like to say. All right, is there any other, outside of the committee, is there any comments? Very good. Okay, well, with that, I'd like to make a motion for this resolution.
Motion for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Tara. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Very good. See, that passes tonight. So that's it for the Parks and Rec Committee meeting. If there's no other further business, meeting adjourned.
Our next committee of the day will be the Health and Social Services Committee, and it will begin at 2:30. Those committee members are Amobian, Freeman, Baylor, Neal, and Holland. Again, that's the Health and Social Services Committee, and it will begin at 2:30. Thank you.